Hello again to all of you cinemaniacs out there, and welcome back to Arrow Senior Living's Marvel Cinematic Universe Weekend Movie Marathon Primer Series. My name is Aaron Neeson, Arrow's visual media director, and I am your guide through this marathon, preparing you for the movies you're going to be enjoying with reminders and tips on important events and characters you will be seeing. Today, we are laying the groundwork for Avengers Endgame, the 23rd movie we are watching in this series. We just watched Avengers Infinity War, and wow, what an ending. The Avengers battled against Thanos and his forces, trying to stop him from obtaining all of the Infinity Stones and snapping half of life out of existence. But alas, the Avengers were unable to stop Thanos. And not only did he wind up with all the stones in the gauntlet, but Gamora and Vision lost their lives in the effort to stop him. It seemed that Thor had been able to strike Thanos before he could snap his fingers, but Thanos mocked him by stating, "You should have gone for the head," as he snapped his fingers and snapped half of life out of existence. Half our beloved Avengers turned to dust. Thanos disappeared through a portal. The remaining Avengers are left to wallow in their defeat, and Thanos watches a sunrise, content in his victory. We then saw in a scene with Nick Fury and Maria Hill that people are disappearing not just in Thanos' vicinity, but all over the world and, though they don't know it, all over the galaxy. As people turn to dust, Nick rushes to his vehicle and sends a message to the one and only Captain Marvel to come to their aid. But what can she do at this point? When the movie was released, that was actually a teaser for Captain Marvel because her movie hadn't come out yet. But now we know the symbol, we know the character and how powerful she is, so who knows how she can help. I really hope that you enjoyed Avengers Infinity War. I know cliffhangers are frustrating, but at least you don't have to wait for a year like audiences did back in 2018. That was a long year to wait, let me tell you. Infinity War is one of my favorites with some incredible battles, strong character moments, and it was very interesting how the movie was almost Thanos' movie. We followed his journey just as much, if not more than, any other character. And Josh Brolin's performance gave Thanos a depth and complexity that I certainly wasn't expecting. And he won in the end. And now we have to see how our heroes deal with this loss and move forward. Also, you'll recall at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp how Scott Lang, aka Ant-Man, got stranded in the quantum realm after Hank, Janet, and Hope turned to dust. Yeah, that was Thanos, and Scott is still in there. So now it is time to move on to the next movie in our marathon, Avengers Endgame. This is it, folks, the culmination of the Infinity Saga. So what do you need to know for this one? Well, let's go over some of the characters and events you need to keep in mind for this film. I hope that Infinity War is still fresh in your mind because that is a must view before Endgame. No spoilers yet, I promise to warn you before we talk about Endgame's plot. Let's start off with Thanos, the mad titan and big bad who got all the Infinity Stones and snapped half of life out of existence. And now let's talk remaining characters who weren't snapped out of existence. Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, billionaire, genius inventor, and pilot of the Iron Man armor. Steve Rogers, aka Captain America, super soldier who fights for truth and justice and always stands up for the little guy. Thor, god of thunder and leader of the Asgardian people. Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, super spy and hero. Bruce Banner, aka the Incredible Hulk, brilliant physicist who turns into an immensely powerful green giant when worked up. Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, Avenger, expert combatant, and superhuman marksman. Scott Lang, aka Ant-Man, can shrink to microscopic size, grow to giant size, communicate with ants, and is currently trapped in the quantum realm. Rocket Raccoon, a genetically modified and cybernetically augmented genius level inventor, engineer, and weapons specialist, as well as expert combatant. Nebula, Thanos' adopted daughter and sister of the deceased Gamora, cybernetically enhanced and a deadly warrior and assassin. James Rhodes, aka War Machine, pilot of the War Machine armor. I know, that's a lot fewer characters than the last movie, isn't it? Things are looking bleak. Now we're going to dig into the plot. So for those of you who don't want to know anything in advance, I suggest switching this off now. Okay, everyone here is good with some plot points being spoiled, right? I'm going to try and keep plenty of surprises, but some moments will be spoiled from here on out. We join our heroes as they are plotting a move to track down Thanos and get the stones back. If they get the stones, they reason they can undo the damage that Thanos did and restore those who were snapped away. They find him, but Thanos reveals that he used the stones to destroy the stones, so they no longer exist. Thor beheads Thanos in a rage, and the Avengers are forced to accept defeat. 5 years pass, and Scott Lang, aka Ant-Man, escapes from the quantum realm. He is confused and disoriented because for him, it feels as though only 5 hours have passed, not 5 years. The Avengers, armed with this new information, theorize that because time works differently in the quantum realm, that time travel could be possible, though they would have to be careful not to disrupt timelines, as changing things in the past doesn't change the present, but instead creates a branching timeline, separate from their own future. But if they are able to return the stones to the point that they were taken, then the timelines would all converge into one again and remain undamaged. Now they are off to try and collect the stones from different points in the past, bring them to their present, and use the stones to restore everyone who was snapped. Meanwhile, a version of Thanos from the past becomes aware of their plan and moves to stop them and ensure the destruction of half of all life. I'm going to stop there and let you discover all of the different surprises and twists and turns all for yourself, but I hope that this is helpful to get you started off right. Fun bit of trivia: Thanos in the comics isn't from a distant planet called Titan, but instead comes from a race of Earth originating Eternals, godlike beings that colonized one of Saturn's moons, Titan. Most of the Titanian people are born flawless and beautiful, but Thanos is a purple skinned, wrinkle chinned aberration. In other words, a mutant. Now, if Eternals sounds familiar, that's because there's a film on the Marvel Marathon list by that name coming soon. But we'll talk more about them at that time, as, just like Thanos, they are markedly different from their comics counterparts. I am very excited for you all to enjoy Avengers Endgame. It brings the Infinity Saga to an exciting, frightening, thrilling conclusion that will certainly have you talking, like it did audiences in 2019. We'll be back soon with another primer for the next movie in our marathon, Spider-Man: Far From Home. Until next time.